Good evening. Welcome to Public Relations Society of India Kolkata Chapter's webinar series. After Puja, this is our first show, and we welcome our guest here, Kanak Jain, not an unknown name rather. And let me introduce our organization, Public Relations Society of India. It's a national body, 63-year-old body, and we are considered as one of the vibrant chapters, and we have been doing webinars right from July end, and this is the 33rd program of our series. And in this series, this is something new, that a book basically on finance is being not launched. We'll be discussing, rather we'll be listening to the stories. Vikramaditya, Betal and finance. There's a nice combination of stories, and Kanak is also a very good storyteller. And on 11th, we have another book launch. So this week, almost within a gap of 7 days, there will be 2 book launches, all concerned to finance. And I think it is customary and it will be appropriate to introduce Kanak Kumar Jain and later on his book, Behave Your Finance. So Kanak Kumar Jain is a well-known volatility coach. I was really surprised when I first heard this particular word. And when I was invited in a show in Saturday Club, I was also excited that what is volatility. He is an international speaker, trainer, and author. Being the founder of SSL Academy, Kanak's vast experience in the financial market found unique expression through the volatility game and in authoring a book on the same. He is also the creator of a series of games on personal finance called the Volatility Games. SSL Academy proudly certifies financial advisors, investors, and students across the country in various courses, and also provides practical trainings on the capital market through various games and puzzles. Kanak is an enchanting and energetic speaker. And when we will run through the show, you will definitely find that all words are true. His mission in life is to ensure the growth of at least one human being every day through financial planning, engaging games, and stories of rebalancing. And that is not all about Kanak Kumar Jain. And you have to Google, you have to see Wikipedia and other things. So let me tell something about Behave Your Finance, the book of today's discussion. Since childhood, Kanak has been a lover of tales from various kingdoms, and stories of Vikram Betal have integrated in him since then. The purpose of this book is to bring financial learnings from the wisdom of Vikram and Betal stories to today's generation. One common challenge with most of the people is that they don't know the secret to attracting wealth and how the psychology of money works behind it. Well, the secret is that the secret is hidden within each one of us, and it is very well revealed in the stories of Vikram and Betal. The book has made a humble attempt to beautifully illustrate 25 stories. Is it 25 or 27? I don't know. Narrated by Betal to the world's greatest king, Veer, the brave man, Vikramaditya. It also imparts, each story is a lesson on personal finance and wealth management. It also imparts crucial life lessons to the readers once understood and decoded. Mind it, decoded. And a decoding session is going to happen today. All the secrets to a happy and prosperous life shall be revealed. And since before Diwali and Kali Puja, this session is going to bring more wealth, at least mentally, into our life. We wish, on behalf of Kanak Jain, I wish all the readers who have read this book or will be reading this book a happy and abundant life. So with this introduction of Kanak Kumar Jain and the book is over, And we were talking about Vikramaditya Betal. Let's watch a film on this book associated with Vikramaditya Betal. So, and I sincerely apologize for our delay in starting the show. 6 to 7 minutes delay that is due to technical snag, and please excuse us. But without further delay, I will hand over this session to Kanak Jain, who will be uh, keeping us in excited form. So over to Kanak Jain. I'll once again come back when we end the session. Thank you, Kanak. Please carry out the session.
A big thank you to Public Relationship Society of India and especially Mr. Soumyajit Mahapatra, who has been an encouraging personality not only for Kolkata chapter but I think all across India. The way, the leadership and the enthusiasm with which he is coordinating and organizing programs after programs, which I have been observing for last few years, are really, really nice. So thank you, friends. So today, what we are going to talk about, yes, it is finance. I am into this industry for last 21 years now, but I found that through games and through stories, things become very, very easy to understand. So this is my second book which I have written, Behave Your Finance. Okay, now the secret of the whole book, okay, everything is revealed on the cover page. Okay, I will be talking about this cover page at the end, but before that, what is in this book and what you all can expect. There are 27 chapters. 25 chapters are the 25 riddle based stories of Betal, which he narrated to Vikramaditya. Now, this is again a lockdown effect, wherein most of us were at our own home and we had lesser things to do. And I thought, let's write something on this. And this got then published also. So everything has happened within last few months only. Now, talking about Vikramaditya. Now, whenever we are talking about wealth, see, all of us in our life, we want that wealth should be there with us. We want to be wealthy, whether we are from a finance background or from any other background, even if it is a doctor or an engineer or maybe from any other stream. But wealth or managing the wealth or finance or money is something which is an outcome of whatever activities we are doing. So this is something which we all want. The whole idea of this book and whatever I am going to share in next few minutes is, if we all just go and try and understand the mind of the Veer king, the bravest king ever produced on this Mother Earth, Vikramaditya, I think we will be able to understand a lot of things. Do you know India was considered as the golden bird, सोने की चिड़िया कहते थे हम हमारे देश को. And the reason of considering Bharat or India as the golden bird is because of Vikramaditya. There are very few kings who are actually considered as Chakravarti or as Veer. Okay, to name few, Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka the Great are some of them. But this is again, Vikramaditya is again one in that series. And there are a lot of things which we think no that Britishers have done first, or maybe no some Mughal emperors like Akbar has done. But if you see and if we reveal and if we read Vikramaditya, I think we will know that everything was actually from this era. This is actually something between just before 100 BC, okay, just before the Christ. This all started. And Vikramaditya's life, his rule, his kingdom, that time, this Vikram Samvat, okay, now Diwali is coming. We will be having Vikram Samvat, new Samvat will start, which is a new Hindu calendar, new year will start. So this new Hindu calendar is actually based on Vikramaditya's rule period. He was there for over 100 years. That time people used to live a long life, and that's what he did. And that was the time when India was exporting a lot of textiles, which they started. And in lieu of textiles, people used to get a lot of gold. And the gold and the money and the abundance which used to come to India, that made India at the prime slot. If we see the overall GDP which is there, like that time India was like one of the top slots which was there, which is if you compare it across the globe. That's the reason India was considered as the golden bird or Sone ki Chidiya. So from that time till date, what is that is a missing link? Why today we are not considered that? Yes, we have been attacked, and a lot of wealth has actually gone. We have been from the Turkish invasion, then the Mughal, and then the British, and everything is happening. But again, what was that? What was the mindset of the people of India? What was the way wherein Vikramaditya used to rule? And what is the wisdom which he had? That is the key to understand. So that is what there are certain things from the stories which all of us can reveal. And let me tell you, if a child will read the stories, he will enjoy. It will be fun for him. It will be just like watching a movie or just reading a storybook. If a person who is spiritual enough, who is like a very spiritual guy, he will just look at the life lessons. And for people maybe who are business entrepreneurs, who are working, they will get a lot of ideas. They will be able to reveal a lot of things, a lot of answers for their businesses, whatever is the situation right now. Maybe there is a problem that there is an agreement which is there between the partners. There is something which you are unable to reach out to a customer, or there is something because of which the markets are down. There is a reason wherein you are not getting back the money. There are so many reasons because of which business may not be doing well, your portfolio is not doing well, or maybe your money is not growing to that extent. I think the answers are there if we just look at like Vikramaditya, or if we see and seek answers from this the greatest king Vikramaditya. Now, the story actually is, we all must have seen in Doordarshan and all know this Vikramaditya story, Vikram Betal. So, this Vikramaditya is, again, all of us know, was one of the most generous king ever born. There is no one else as generous as Vikramaditya is. And this has been proved by so many authors and so many people who have been writing. And the secret is there again on the cover page, which I will just share a little later. And because of his generosity, he used to come out of his palace every morning and he used to give these donations and all. And there was one tantric who used to come every day and gift him with a fruit. And this particular fruit, he used to just keep it because people used to come and give something to him as a thank you gesture. So he used to just keep and give it to his minister, and the days passed on. One day, when he just opened that fruit, and he saw that there was a diamond inside that particular fruit, then he asked his minister to go and see the other fruits, whatever were there. Now, as a minister, although a king has told him just throw it away, but because a minister, he knows when you are working under a king or a leader, one day when he asks for whatever, wherever the fruits have gone, you will have to answer. You just need to answer, or aap chup nahi sakte hain. And that was the time he actually just asked for all the fruits, and then he saw that the fruits were all rotten, but within those fruits, no, there were all diamonds which were there. So there were like quite a number of this precious stones which were there. So finally, when he thought that why is this tantric or this person is giving me so many diamonds, this is like and the next day when this particular tantric came again, and he gave that fruit, and he just saw, and he told him, why are you giving all this to me? Take away all your diamonds and all, I just don't want them. That was the time the tantric told, sir, there is no other way to get the attention of a king, and king who is so brave and so generous like you. What can I do? You are just going on. So my dear friends, there is again a decoding over here. Most of the time diamond is there in front of us in our life, but what we don't see it, that diamond, we really need to work on it. We need to probably break it apart, and then only that diamond will be revealed. And in order to actually seek an attention of somebody, let's say a customer, or maybe of anything, or maybe Goddess Lakshmi, you really need to do something, which probably this particular tantric was doing. So that in order to seek that attention, we really need to do something like this, which is very, very attractive. And that is what Vikramaditya's attention was seeked. So finally, then he told, okay, now you have my attention. Now what is that you want? Well, he told him, then again, he asked for a particular word. Okay, now words used to be very, very important. Okay, today maybe we are telling a lot of things just for the sake of telling. But again, when we see these kings and these queens at that point of time, their words were very, very important. Whatever words you have told or whatever commitment you have given, it is done, and you will just follow that. So he committed that, okay, he will come. And then he finally, all the stories we know, he asked him to go and get the Betal, because he's going to perform some pujas and all. Now, during this session, when he is just going and considering and taking this Betal, it was like a very, very scary night, okay? And it's not that brave people or rich people or anyone, he's not scared, okay? But there is a big difference between a person who is scared and who is not scared. Everybody is scared. Everybody has this fear, and especially this pandemic time, all of us can experience that the fear is there all around us. But people who take the next step, which is the step, once you have taken that next step, that means that you are ready to overcome that fear. This is the only difference between a person who is super successful and a person who is like not so successful. Everybody is scared, everybody is fearful, but the people who are successful, they take one more step and they just move forward, although they are fearful, although they are scared, and that is the reason they get whatever they want in their life. Same thing was with Vikramaditya. He just moved, and he finally got Betal on his back. And when he was coming, as usual, like for all the 20 in one night, all these 25 stories were shared by Betal. And this is like he used one more thing, like Vikramaditya used to be considered as one of the best ruler, best judge. Whatever the judgments he used to make, these all judgments were really, really good. And he was like a supreme court. Other kingdoms also, know, people used to come for the judgment to Vikramaditya. So he was continuously telling a story, asking a riddle, and at the end of the riddle, there was a question, and based on that question, Vikramaditya will have to answer. Now, if Vikramaditya is answering, then the Betal will fly again to the tree. And if he is unable to answer, or rather not answering, even if he is aware about the answer, this Betal will kill Vikramaditya. So it was like a big puzzle. So that way, like on the first story which he talks about is about a particular gurukul, okay, wherein no he is telling that there was this gurukul, and wherein no a lot of prince used to come, and out of that three prince were really really nice, and all three of them like it was like falling in love with a with the guru's daughter there. Now once one of all three of them, but like the guruji or the guru mata there, they were unable to understand which of the three prince they should get their daughters married. All three of them were very very good. Now this thing continued, and after some days, after some months, one day what happened, while this girl, this pretty girl, was actually filling up some water at the near the well, then one snake just had a little bite, and she just died at that point of time, spot dead. Now after that death, whatever all the activities and all, whatever is rituals, whatever were done, now all these three kings were so much attached with this particular girl that they told that no, they will not get married in their life. They will be there with her for the life, or maybe they will live the rest of the life with her memories. So first one decided that he will just keep the ashes. Okay, after the death, no, we have this ashes which is there, and he will stay near the river, near the Gurukul, and he will make a small hut there, and he will stay there and just live a life of a saint. The second one told, okay, now after you have taken this, there are these bones which is left, so he will take those bones and he will just move, walk anywhere here and there, and that is going to be his life. The third one told, okay, I will go to Himalayas and I will do meditation. Probably if I find something, a solution, I will just look for something like that. It is going to really bring life to this girl again, which is calling like no Sanjeevani Vidya, what you call in Hindi, is no wherein no, you can actually make a dead man alive. Now, what happened after a few years? All of them, this particular person who got this Sanjeevani Vidya, and with this Sanjeevani Vidya, he came back. And on the way, he also found the second friend who was carrying the bones. And then finally, all three of them got together. What they did that now the first one just put the bones on the floor, and then the other one sprinkled the ashes, and then the third one chanted the mantras, and then the magic happened. And what was the magic? Magic was that girl was alive, and she is now more beautiful than what she was earlier. Now the Guru and the Guru Mata had the same puzzle again, the same question again. And this was the question of Betal to Vikramaditya. Who is the girl? Okay, now who is this prince whom this girl will marry now? The one who actually kept the ashes, the second one who was keeping the bones, and the third one who got life in her blood again. So this is what was there, and this is usually when we are doing an interactive session, this is the question which I ask. And whenever I have asked these questions, the answer which I get, because we are not in a position to ask you this question and get, if some of you are watching, you can just write a or maybe you can just chat, or maybe you can just write certain things. But the 50 to 80% of the people answer the third option. The third option is the person who got life to that body should be her husband. But my dear friends, that's the wrong answer. That's the wrong answer. It's not the person who got the life should be her husband. Normally speaking, if he is not giving the life, who else can be actually? According to the life lesson or the Indian Trinity, okay, the person who brings life is like a father. Okay, it's like the Brahma energy. It's like the energy of creation. So a person who is bringing life is not considered to be an husband. Okay. Now the second one was who was carrying the bone. So like a lot of 40, 50, rest of the people actually answer this. But again, this is also wrong. The people who is there protecting, okay, your bone so that no, you can stand and you can withhold. Now he is like a protector, is like a son or maybe like a brother. Usually in a Hindu tradition, it is considered that the person who is actually there to protect you is like your brother or maybe like your son. So the second person is also cannot be considered as the husband. So he is also like your, he's like to protect her. So this protector is like the Shiva energy. Okay, the first one was the creator's energy, which is the Brahma energy, and then is the Shiva energy, which is like protecting. The third energy is in wherein you are you have control, you have maintained those ashes with you. okay, which is like the body, and which is like in Hindi what we call is like palan harta. This is the energy of love, and this is like the energy of Vishnu. And this is the third energy, creation, then creation, and then the power, and which is the protection, and the third is the energy of love, and that is the Vishnu energy. He should be the husband, or he should be the chosen one for the particular girl. And like, no, in the normal way, for Lakshmi is for the Vishnu only. So that's the way, if we symbolize that this girl is like the wealth, which is the Lakshmi, and who are the people who are going to get it. So the understanding from this particular chapter is, like in our normal life, there are people, there are entrepreneurs who are creating a lot of things, who are good creators. Let's say you have created a bottle of particular water, or maybe you have created a machine, you have created a phone, or anything like that. You are good creators, you have created a lot of product. Yes, there is wealth which keeps coming to them, but more than that, next person are the people who actually protects, okay, who ensures that they have this Shiva energy, and the protection is done. But the people who get the whole lot of wealth in form of goddess Lakshmi is the people who have this nature, who have this attitude of Vishnu. So this is something which is very, very important. And the whole lot of three energies, I think, needs to be understood in each and everything, each and every activity, whatever we are doing. We have these three energies. Even and in all religion, in Hinduism, in Islam, in Christianity, we talk about these three energies. One is the energy of creation. Okay, what is this energy of creation? Is the Brahma energy. Like, let's say you are making a dosa. Okay, that's the energy of creation. The second energy is the energy of consuming it, okay, and putting it in the body, and no, creating that energy out of that. You are deleting, you are removing the unnecessary things, whatever is required, and that is again the energy of power, energy of Shiva. And the third energy is maintaining that energy in your body so that you can actually work and out of it, and that is the energy of love, and that is the energy of Vishnu. So all these three energies, like God, the Father, Son, the Soul. So same way, no, everything is there. And once you have this energy of love, energy of maintaining, energy of Palan Harta, I think the whole lot of wealth attraction starts. The Lakshmi starts attracting to you, and that is what the significance of this coming Diwali is also there. Now on this cover page, if you have seen, there is a heart now, and there is a crown, okay, and that's what the secret is all about. So each and every person, whoever is actually having a very, very big heart, see, all the people, whether they are connected with PRSI, or maybe Rotary, or maybe Lions, or maybe any other organizations where, you know, they are giving a lot of contributing to the societies and all, which means they have very, very big heart. So all these people with big heart, okay, like Vishnu Charitra, like Vishnu, okay, who is like, who was born, who was incarnated many incarnations, and all his incarnations, what Vishnu has done, he has helped people, he has worked for somebody else, he has done something for the kindness, for the goodness of others. Which means if you have a very, very big heart, you will be the crowned king. This is the crown, which is the king. So the secret is there on the cover of the page, which is like the crown is for the people, Lakshmi is for the people who have this Vishnu Charitra. And each and every story is actually talking about one or the other topic, which is going to be like this. Like this is the first one, which was there. And then again, no, there are chapters where, you know, how we read between the lines, we should be aware about what products we are investing. So there are all the stories, whatever is being shared, no, like in one of the stories, let me just share with you, that is again on visualization. Most of the time we think, no, what is actual, if actual wealth, if you have, or actually whatever you have possessed, is that important, or something if you can see, that is important. My dear friends, it is very, very important that what we see and what we visualize, that makes it very, very important. So there is this story in one of the chapters, it's written there. Once somebody was again, there was a prince with his friend. He came to a village, and he saw a girl, and he fallen in love, and then he got married, and then finally they wanted to come back to their own kingdom and things like that. So at that point of time, when they were returning home after the marriage and all the love and all everything, uh, there was like there was a lot of used to be robbery, and you used to pass through some jungles and all. So now this robbers wanted the whole lot of money, and they actually killed both the prince and his friend. Okay, and what they did, they're like मैंने पूरा का पूरा गर्दन आधा कर दिया था. And now this girl was like sobbing, and she was telling, what is the use of this life, let me also finish my life. But she was like, no, a very she was devoted to mother goddess. Okay, the goddess of power, goddess Durga. And that what happened, no, she prayed. And finally, see, today we can see that they are all like fairy tales. How can that happen? How can you just make somebody alive or something like that? But I'm sure these stories are about, it's not only fairy tales, or it's not only about the story. There is an essence to that. There is a learning which actually we need to understand, and that learning we can actually see that people around us, okay, they are like that. And all those people who have been nurtured and who are behaving in a particular pattern like this, they are actually doing a lot of good in their life, as far as the life lessons and as far as the understanding is concerned. So in this particular case, what goddess appeared in front of her, and she told her, okay, my dear, whatever you will ask, I will grant to you. And she told that I want my husband and his friend to be alive. I have been such a good devotee to you, and this is what I am getting. Well, okay, what you do now, put the heads on the body, and I will make them alive. So she was just looking at the goddess, and she just took one head and the other head on the bodies, and she just was looking at the goddess, and she did this. And after that, goddess just blessed, and both of them got alive. And then the goddess left. And now what happened? There was a mistake, because she was so much happy and she was looking at the goddess. She, by mistake, the head of her husband, she put on the friend's body, and the friend's head she put it on her own husband's body. Now again, Vikramaditya there is a puzzle for Vikramaditya, which is like, no, Betal asking who should be her husband now. So now most of the time people have very different answers, but I think 80% of people tell a person who is having the right body should be his answer. 20-30% people tell a person who should have the right face should be her husband. But in actual but reality, my dear friends, what is visible, what you all can see, that is what you all can achieve. So it is very, very important that we focus on what is actually visible. Visualization is very, very important. So according to Vikramaditya, the husband should be the person who is actually having the right face. The person with the right face, she should marry him and actually go further, not the person with the right body. Because that's how the whole society is working. It's your face value. And the face value, again, if we connect it with our own future wealth creation, most of the time people are struggling with finance because they are not visualizing the finance in the particular way it should be done. You have to see what you really want to achieve, whatever is there for you in the future, whatever goals, you have to see them as if they are all achieved. Whenever you sit with the financial advisors of yours, or maybe a coach, or maybe a volatility coach, or a expert with you, what you really need to do is ensure that your plans are made. Whether it is a plan for your retirement, whether it is a plan for your child, whether it is a plan for a particular education, or whatever it is, what you really need to do is you need to ensure that you visualize that you are living that particular moment. You are in that state of mind. You are in that situation where you will have to see, experience. If it's a daughter's marriage, you will have to visualize how the daughter's marriage you are doing, who are the people who are coming, what is the party which you are throwing, what is that, how your daughter is looking like, who are the people who are coming smiling and they are happy with her. So all this visualization will ensure that the goal will be achieved faster and to that extent only. Otherwise, if we are just talking and thinking about figures, that I want 1 crore rupee or a 2 crore rupee or whatever the amount of money, probably that will become different. So it is very, very important that we understand the power of visualization. And that's the whole idea of everything moving further. Okay, so we have some more time. Let me just share with you one more story, which is again a favorite of mine, wherein no, it's again some of the chapters like no, wherein it's talk about speculations. Most of the time no, people have this instinct in their life, no, they speculate to put their money into certain things which are very very risky. So again, there are I think two stories like that, where you know, people who have been doing speculations, until and unless they come out of this idea of speculation, they will not be able to create wealth. Money is not going to, wealth is something which is not going to be with the people who are big speculators. And it has to be calculated, it has to be understood. And there are also understanding, there are also stories which will ensure you to understand that you have to read between the lines. You will have to be a very very a person who need to understand, see all the things whatever is there. So until and unless you see each and everything, you will not be very very clear for you to take it further. Now, in one of the stories, again, like there was like again one of the princes. This is again like you have to, वही कहते हैं ना, बच्चों के लिए राजा रानियों की कहानियां. So it is like that. Another one time there was this princess, and lot of many kings wanted to marry her. So one of the king who came to her, and he told that I would like to marry, and I am a person who can actually see the future. I am a person who can just predict things, whatever is going to happen all around. So he had a ability to do that. Okay, then she told, okay, just wait, we will see. And then the next day, another prince came, and he told her that I can actually, I'm like an engineer. I have created a lot of things, lot of stuff. And no, I have created a chariot, where you know, which is like a flying chariot, which you can just fly in the sky, and I can take you to any place in this world. Okay, wow, she was really impressed, and she asked that prince also to stay, and maybe you know, she will decide on the third day. The third day, there was another prince who came. He told that I am a awesome warrior, and I can just fight with anyone. Okay, I am one of the bravest person. I am having such a huge build, and I can just kill anyone. There is a lot of stamina in me. So she told, okay, that's also really really nice. And he shared with her some of the tricks, no, wherein he can actually do certain things which was related to the strength. Now that night, what happened? There was a demon. Okay, there was a demon who was there, who was having an eye on this princess, and he just eloped with her. Rather, not eloped. He just took her. He kidnapped her actually. Now everybody was worried, and now all these three princes also came. The first one told, okay, I can see where the princess is actually, and I can see that this particular demon has taken her to this particular place. Now the second one told, okay, great, I have this vehicle which is created by me. We all can fly there. So all three of them actually went there. And finally the third person who just reached there, and he just fight, and he was the one who could actually bravely have a fight with her. And after that fighting, he was able to kill that particular demon, and he was able to do that. So in this whole situation, then Betal asked this question to this. Now there are three people, okay, who should marry her. The first one, who actually was able to see whether where the princess is. So if you are not able to see, you cannot just do that. The second one is like the person who actually was the journey, this whole journey of taking it to the final destination. If this was not possible, nobody would have reached. And the third one, who actually bravely fought with her. Most of the time, people say the first one is very, very important, which means if the first one is, if he was not there to see where this princess is, then everything would have been nowhere. So 50-60% of the people answer that. Now, in this situation also, the first and this, but again, the first one is the wrong answer. Now, what is the second one? The journey. Okay, that's also the wrong answer. Then the third one, who actually fought very, very bravely with this particular king, I think with this demon, that is supposed to be the prince. So this is the third one, who is actually the person who should marry her. Now, when we connect this with the finance, when we connect it with the wealth we actually acquire, So a lot of time you can see, you have an idea, you can actually see that this is the wealth, this is the strategy you can actually create. And then there are people, who are there as a part of your journey, who can take you from one place to other, the goal and all, achievement and all. But finally, the people who are brave, who are courageous enough to take that risk. Okay, you really need to take risk in a business. If all of us are doing some business, or if we all don't have that courage to do that business, or courage to do that investment, courage to take the next step in our life, this particular thing which you call, no, maybe whatever you have seen, or maybe this journey, this all can become a worthless activity until and unless that courage is there, that extra thing is there which you need to do. So this way we can understand that there, each and every story, there is something which is revealed and something which can actually be very, very helpful for all these people. So the overall idea is, let's understand uh, the certain things which is very, very important. I most of the time I consider telling, like, no, we should be all aware of PDC. It's not the post dated check, but P stands for the purity. If a person is pure enough with whatever work he is doing, whatever business he is doing, whatever way he is investing, the wealth will get attracted towards him. The D is the decision. Most of the time people are unable to take decisions. In last 20 21 years, I have met so many people. They think that they will start investing, they think that they will buy this particular stock, they think that they will start doing something for a particular goal, but they don't do it because they have not taken any action in their life. That is the reason nothing is achieved. So my dear friends, not only the purity is very, very important, then only you become eligible for that wealth. But again, if you don't take a decision that yes, this is something which I really need to do, this is the work I really need to do, this is the ethics which with I really need to do this business, this is the savings which I really need to do, this is the work which I really need to sit with my financial advisor, this expert, this investment I really need to do. This is a decision which has to be taken right now, and then you have to start working on it. And the third thing is the courage, PDC. And the courage is again becoming very, very important. You will have to be courageous. You just cannot be like, I just don't want to take any risk. Okay, if you are towards your retirement, very near to your retirement, and if you don't want to take risk, maybe fixed deposits and putting your money into like that, that's absolutely fine. But again, when it comes to, if you have a longer horizon, and if you have a long life, and if you have bigger goals in your life, you will have to take risk, either in your business or in your investments. Yes, take an advice from an expert, use your calculations, use your wisdom, because it is your hard earned money. But if you are not even taking a risk for 10% or 5% of whatever you want to save, then what is the need? Then finally, whatever you really want to achieve in your life, how can you achieve that? So it is very, very important that you really need to be very, very courageous. See, all these chapters I have, there are stories and all. Only the last chapter, which is the 27th chapter, I have shared the strategy for when managing your wealth. There are five strategies which is shared, wherein you can actually create a portfolio for yourself. See, all of us want to save, all of us want the wealth to go up, but there is a strategy, there is a mechanism in doing that. And what is that mechanism? That mechanism is like, there are strategies. We all have returns in all the asset classes, whether it is real estate, whether it is gold, whether it is fixed deposit, whether it is equity. But what happens when we invest in a particular asset class, and then when we then it is expensive, and when we see that it has come down, we try to come out of it. So that's not the way. Understanding an asset class when it is available cheap, okay, and when it is expensive, to come out of it. So in order to do that, there is a strategy called rebalance strategy. I have created around 18 games, okay, 3 more again created during this lockdown, which we will be launching soon. But again, all these games helps you to understand what rebalancing is all about. And this book is also about rebalancing our life lessons with the finance lessons, and with the stories, and with this wisdom which King Vikramaditya had. So there is probably in probabilities, most of us will answer something different. But actually, if we see the wisdom of the greatest king of so many centuries, King Vikramaditya, we will be able to reveal, we will be able to see that this is the secret, and that is about decoding. And if we see each and every stories, there are people around us like that, which is like these people who are around us, they are having a story like that. Maybe no, the characters have changed. Earlier, no, it was a horse ride, or it was like a ride through jungle. Today it may not be a horse ride, it can be a ride through a car. Or earlier it used to be a ride through jungle, it can be today a life where you are facing a lot of issues in your business. A lot of regulations are coming, a lot of government regulations are coming, a lot of business rivalries is there. So this is there. So the overall thing, the content remains the same, the idea is there, only the bottle is changing. Let's say if this is a bottle where the water is same, but the container is changed, which is like today the bottle is maybe silver color, it used to be red or blue or something like that. The whole essence remains the same. So when we talk about wealth, when we talk about managing the wealth, or when we talk about attracting goddess Lakshmi, it's all the same. The everything remains same. The only thing what has changed is probably the outer thing. Rest all the things are same. So, my dear friends, it is all about attracting abundance in our life. And there is one chapter which is on mindset. Okay, so it is very very important that we have that appropriate mindset. And if we read a little more about kings like this, I think not only Vikramaditya, even Chandragupta Maurya, or maybe Ashoka the Great, or maybe various other kings like that, we can actually understand what was the mindset, with what was the strategy these people were using. And if we just try to decode and see, and if we can use even one or two things from whatever they have done, obviously we have to twist and change that according to today's scenario. I think we have all the answers for all the issues whatever is there. Now, this concept of having Navaratna, okay, we all think that Akbar the Great had this. No, it was never Akbar the Great. It was King Vikramaditya. He had this Navaratna. That was the concept which was initiated by him. So most of the things which is there, probably the history and the things which we have read, a lot of things is missing. And I hope that with this Chanda Mama and Panchatantra story, we share it with our kids, and we again go back to those days and we read them. I think there is a lot and lot which is actually giving you a practical solution of whatever problem we all are facing. And today is the era of problem solving. All those people who can solve the problem are the people who are making the maximum wealth, and people who are very very successful in their life. And I am telling you, each and every business whatever is there, whether it is Vikramaditya story or any other story from maybe Chanakya's era, or maybe Chanda Mama stories and all, I'm sure you will get a lot of answers from them. Managing wealth is one of them. And I think in the coming days, if I have to write a few more book, or if something more as and when, I think it is going to be Vikramaditya again, because there is so much about Vikramaditya's life, and the study and the wisdom which is there. I think we all can really really learn a lot. How much readers will learn and try and use that actually while writing and while doing and while uh, undergoing all this and watching all this TV serials of Raman and Sagar. It was a great learning, and this has actually helped me. And a lot of things, I think it is going to help each one of us, whoever will read this, because finally it is in giving that you receive. There is a chapter also in this name. It is in giving that you receive. When you are giving, you become entitled to receive. So this is the giving which is your heart. If you have a big heart, that is the time you can actually give. And when you give, you are entitled to receive. Your receiving is your crown, okay, which is you become a king. So each and every person, whomever we are attracting in our life, कहते हैं आपकी परिस्थिति आपकी मनोस्थिति को बनाती है, और आपकी मनोस्थिति आपकी परिस्थितियों को बनाती है. So as we think, as the mindset is all about, that's the way we can actually create our whole destiny. And through these stories, it's interesting. We can sit with kids, you can like even they are also reading this, it will be a different story. Things will be revealed. The whole idea is let the mindset be prosperous, just like what we had during the King Vikramaditya's era. So that's what I have to share. Thank you very much, and I really look forward. And a special thanks to Public Relationship Society of India, PRSI, and the Calcutta chapter, Mr. Shomyojit Mahapatra, and the whole team for organizing this. I'm sure whatever little we have shared, people will have some value in it. So with this, thank you very much. Look forward to interact with you in the coming days. Yes.
Uh, Really exciting session as promised by you. Though we are delayed 7 minutes, but the gap has been minimized by your, I mean, exciting speeches. And another negative factor today is the US election result. People are tuning television, radio, and social media. Bihar election, where the exit poll is showing that there may be some chance of upside down. So, uh, people definitely finance is always required, but the election it comes. I mean, after 4 years in USA and after 5 years in each state, so people thought it is more important, and the IPL flavor is also so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is a chance that people will, watch this show afterwards also. And we are really happy that Kanak is still inclined to Vikramaditya Betal. The next book will be, and one very interesting point, I have been also uh, telling people concept of giving. If you can give, you receive more. That may be knowledge, that may be wealth, that may be anything else. So concept of giving is very important in any organization's life and in any person's life. And another thing, we have been using the word balancing, balancing the role, balancing. But today, Kanak has used the word rebalancing. So gone are the days of only balancing. You have to not only balance, you have to rebalance, recalibrate. So you may take wrong steps or right steps. You may have to come back. You may have to go one step forward. So balancing and rebalancing is another thing we have to practice. And to be very frank, I was not ready for today's session. And suddenly I had to come on screen that Kanak knows, and I'm not a person who can very good in elaborating on the financial matters, and that is not required also. The today is the story of Vikramaditya Betal and how Kanak related all these things with finance. That is the thing. And I personally witnessed his few games, and it was also very exciting. And I think people, there are no questions right on the social media. So I have a question. What inspired you to write books? Because we have been listening stories that people are financial consultant. They are only bothered about their personal balance sheet, but you are not like that kind of person. You have preached a concept of giving, and you are preaching your one line is very, remarkable. That is, you want to impart lessons through your skills. So, what inspired you to write books, Kanak?
This is my second book. The first one I wrote was on a volatility game, which is again because I used to think that understanding finance is very very boring, and it is not. People will not. It's like numbers and all. So it was idea was to create a game which I created. I have 18 intellectual games which is created, and we have over 160 trainers across India who are licensed to conduct these programs. But again, this was something. No, see, there was this liking. This was there. I have I have penned down few more topics also. There are a lot of things, but no, this came because of this lockdown. And I, honestly speaking, there was nothing to do. So I just thought writing this, and no, maybe my see this the cover page design, this heart, and this name also is given by my elder son. He's 18 years old now. And the younger son who used to sit and watch this Ramanand Sagar serials with me. So it was like an engagement for the whole story. And the edit work was done to a great extent by my wife. So it is like all the family, we all were there doing something together. So although my name is there on the book, but actually it's the whole family. And so it
So
was fun.
it's a
It happened.
lockdown story and lockdown product.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So
No doubt.
that's a nice thing, and you can try more things that whether any such attempts were done during lockdown, this book writing. So you can be one of those writers who completed a book during this lockdown. Maybe some 100 or 1,000 people are there in India. So I have another question. That it is all about finance. Now forget about Bikramaditya Betal. And how we will give 5 tips to people that with a conservative approach, what the common man should do in their life to preserve their wealth or to attain more wealth. 5 tips for common man.
Okay, there is a chapter on that also. But again, let me
Oh,
tell you, like the five, and there also we have five things. See, whatever you are earning, okay, I think the first 20%, okay, should go for your own self development or in your own business. If you are a businessman, or maybe if you are not a businessman, you should use that first 20%, okay, for your. This is again after the whatever the minimum expenses and all is there. So that is there. Most of the people just don't do that. That is again paying to yourself. The second 20%, maybe you should be putting it into the real estate, the house, and all whatever. And this is like the asset allocation which I am talking about. Most of the time, people only buy house and house and house and house, but it should not be more. Also, you should be moderation. You should have different asset exposures. The second is the real estate. The third is actually it may not be very very attractive to people, which is like again gold. But I think in a situation where if we have war or if we have situation or uncertain things like that, today even gold is available digitally also on ETFs and all. So I think the third 20% should go to gold. Okay. And the fourth 20% should be, even if it is giving you very less return, it can be fixed deposit, simple fixed deposit, or a post office or whatever it is. So the fourth 20% should go to your fixed deposit. This is a simple asset allocation I'm talking about. And the last 20%, actually, you should be putting it into other people's business. Other people's business means into equity, wherein you can identify, if you are good enough, expert enough to identify equities, or you can move it through mutual fund, or actually the best is to take a help, become a friend with a financial expert so that they can guide you, they can help you. And I think the journey will be a little better if you have a coach or if you have a expert with you. And beyond all this, I think there is again giving, which is very very important. So giving is very very important. So giving should be also a part of the whole thing.
thank you, Kanak. And you have been referring to risk and courage,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes.
So I think you are a man who, showcases courage in your own life also, and you take risk also. And if there is failure after taking risk, how these things, see, Devajyoti Banerjee, excellent 5 teams, happen to be PRSI member. And I forgot to mention that Kanak Jain is also a PRSI Kolkata chapter member, and he was associated with our organization since long, though he has other associations also. So 5Ts people appreciated. See, immediately people gave you recognition. So is there anything? I have some amount of money, and you told about gold, you told about, I have my own house, but I have some amount of money, and banks are now liberal in giving loans. Okay. So what kind of asset should be my priority? Gold or real estate? I
See,
have two
again,
choices.
yeah. No, you have, if you have two choices, I think, see, something you already, there is an asset allocation. Already your house is there. And if you have some other properties, I told you, it should be like balance, maybe 20, 20, 20.
Okay,
If some people think
rebalancing.
that, Yeah, it should be, that should be the balance. And let's say if after a certain point of time this 20% thing has grown so much that it is now becoming 40%, I think you should book profit and make it all 20 20 20 again. Or let's say after the house, if you have little in equity, debt and gold, or maybe whatever the asset class is, it should be rebalanced. That is what the rebalancing is about. Whatever has grown, you should book profit and put it into the other asset class. If we don't put it into the other asset class, then probably we are not creating that wealth.
Okay. Thank you, Kanak. And the Dhantaras is coming.
Yeah.
Mad craze. Whether it is a status symbol or really something spiritual, people should try out in Dhantaras Day. What's your take on it?
Dhanteras, you mean to say people buying gold and silver?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. Oh,
yeah, I think it is more of a tradition. On that particular day, the prices are also up. So it's more of something, no, getting, and it is gold and silver is connected with goddess Lakshmi. Okay, so I think that's the thing. When you buy something, it's like bringing Lakshmi to, I think that is there. On that day, I think one should maybe know something, if you can give. And if you can get blessings also, that also comes, and that can be much, much more powerful than any other thing. But today actually you can buy gold also through ETFs also. Having a physical gold coin in your place or holding it, it's like, again, why to take so much of risk just putting it in your cupboard or maybe in your locker? You can just click a button and you can buy a ETF, gold ETF. Simply you can do that. I think that is easier, and that is 24 karat too. Easy to
okay.
sell.
Thank you. So, though we have not discussed, but people are discussing this thing, Bitcoin. How do you educate the audience here about Bitcoin in India's
See,
perspective?
in my games, there are certain requirements to invest. See, your house, there is a physical asset you can see. Gold, you can see that physically. Shares, there is a physical entity which is there, and there is a P value, there is a debt equity ratio. There are so many ratios, fundamentals are there. Fixed deposit also, there is a asset backed if you are putting into a bank or a post office. If you are investing in yourself, you are a physical body. What is there in cryptocurrencies? There is nothing, my dear friends. I somehow know I take a lot of risk, no doubt about it, but I will better go to a casino than to put it into bitcoins or something like that. I am something not very much. Yes, they have done well. They are so risky, speculative. People have lost money. People have been. Uh, that's again a type of another way people are investing. But again, one should be aware. Even if somebody is willing to do that, try to just allocate maybe 1% or 2% of your wealth. I'm just willing to see it erode. That is the money you should put into that. That's the whole idea. If you get money, it's good.
Thank you. Though it could have been the first question, but it will be my last question. How did you come to this finance sector? What forced you, or how did you get yourself passionate about this financial discipline in your life or your profession?
Again, I will say it was accidental. Nothing was like I was working with a company called PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was doing my CA, and then after audit and all, I never thought that again doing some job somewhere and all like that. That was the idea. Not a very shy person, but somehow no, I just got into this thing because again no, my father is also into business. He's a cloth merchant. Still, he's continuing and he's very active. Uh, so again, this thing was there, and it all happened. One of my just friend told, no, this new sectors in insurance and mutual fund is emerging in 2000. No, just I got into that, and I then met few people, and that actually inspired. And then and since my 1992's Harshad Mehta's and all, I have seen my father investing. So it was like there in my mind. No, I have seen my father without knowing certain things. He made in some stocks very good money, 10 times, 15 times, and some stocks they are just all gone, zero. So sometimes certain things, which means there was something, this curiosity was there, and finally some people came across from where the learning also started. And then there to learn, this urge was there, and this overall industry this shaped up, and finally I got into managing wealth, and then creating games, and then writing books, and then
So
meeting with
your
people like you.
it's always there, and our life has taught a new lesson. how to be on virtual world in most of our times.
Yes.
And a new economy is coming up. That's a different thing. And we'll not discuss here, but we nicely enjoyed today's evening, though you were talking about accident, how you came here. And today also, Varun Mittal, if possible, please also tell how you, Kanakji, are able to handle so many things at one. I think you know this person. Otherwise, this sort of question would not have come.
Yeah.
Please.
Varun is also a volatility coach. He is based out in Ghaziabad, New Delhi. So he is there. So manage so many things. No, I'm just relaxing. He was there in the previous session, and now there is another session. So probably he's telling that way. It's all we all can do that. There is nothing. When we are doing one focus thing, I think it's just as long as you enjoy. I think you can do quite a number of things. If I'm enjoying my company with Soumyajit Mahapatra, I will not feel tired at all. If I'm not enjoying that, it will be like boring and it will be tiring. So I think that's the key.
So, yeah. Both of us are laughing, and our body language and the facial expression are really uh, enough to give a manifestation that we are enjoying the session. Same with our audience. And with that, a formal thank you to Kanak Jain, our own man, and the person who will make more valuable human being in the world through his own mission and philosophy. And with that, I'm signing off from this program, and a real enjoyable session we had right now. Thank you, Kanak Jain. And with that, signing off for today. Good night.